Recorded Books and RB Digital present Meeting Infinity, edited by Jonathan Strahan. Narrated by David DeVries, Tracy Odom, Michael Welch, Elizabeth Wiley, and Nicole Zanzarella.
Meeting Infinity. Jonathan Strahan. Introduction. Future shock is the shattering stress and disorientation that we induce in individuals by subjecting them to too much change in too short a time. Alvin Toffler, Future Shock. There once was a golden age science fiction writer named Jack Williamson, who was born in Arizona in the United States in 1908, back before it was a state and was still called the Arizona Territory. When his family, who were farmers and ranchers, needed better pastures for their herds, they packed up in horse-drawn covered wagons and moved to New Mexico. During his lifetime, he lived to be 98, Williamson saw first electricity then telephones arrive in his town. His parents' horse-drawn wagons gave way to cars. Before his 50th birthday, humans had flown as high and as fast as they yet have, and not long after his 60th birthday, they would walk on the moon. Within a few years of that, the first successful human heart transplant would be performed, and it would not be long really before corneal transplants were commonplace. Then things got really crazy. Consider this. Not too long ago, as I write, I watched a doctor 3D print a human kidney while presenting a talk to a TED seminar, and when an astronaut on the International Space Station didn't have the correct tool to fix a problem, it was emailed to him. He printed out the socket set and made the repairs successfully. The point of all this is simple, and is manifold. To live to be nearly 100 years old is amazing, though less unusual than it once was. But the fact that Williamson probably saw more rapid, widespread technological change during his lifetime than at any other time in human history is even more incredible. The 20th century was a time of incredible feats of technological achievement. But it was also a time of intense challenge and hardship, struggle and violence, much of which was precipitated by the very change that seemed so miraculous. It was both the most innovative and most potentially destructive of times, when we could find the skill to eradicate a disease and the stupidity to let it recur, and when we could build devices that could end all life on our planet using power sources that could possibly make us immortal. 15 years into the 21st century, the idea of future shock seems so obsolete and meaningless. We live in a world where easily accessible fossil fuels are disappearing, where the climate is changing in ways that are both violent and dangerous, and technology changes so quickly that change is the new norm. Being future shocked is so much a part of day-to-day life, at least in the West, that we don't even notice it. The future, of course, is unevenly distributed, so this does vary significantly across the face of the planet. Alvin Toffler, who wrote Future Shock almost half a century ago, also wrote that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn, which may be the truest thing in his book. For all that the 20th century was a time of intense change, and the early 21st century seems to be an even more giddy, glorious, terrifying, appalling example of the same, it seems reasonable to say that we stand on the precipice of the greatest period of change humanity will ever see. This may well always be true from now on. The next 100 years or so will see climate addressed as a problem, or not. We'll see humans walk on another planet or not.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.